To start by acknowledging the Mayor. I'd like to acknowledge existing councillors in the room. I'd like to acknowledge councillors who will be sworn in for the first time today. And I would also like to acknowledge our past councillors who are joining us here today. I have one other person to recognise today, who's Mr Lex Bell, the former Mayor of the City of Gold Coast. Welcome, Lex. So, the formalities are pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So, the first thing I'm asked to do is to invite Mr Mayor Tom Tate to come to the stage, to the lectern, to recite and sign his declaration. Please join me in welcoming Mr Tate and the Mayoress as well. Thank you.
Morning everyone. I, Tom Richard Tate, having been elected as Councillor of City of the Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office. In accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009, to the best of my judgment and ability. CEO, I have now signed both declaration and a certificate declaration.
Please join me in congratulating Mayor Tom Tate. I would now like to invite Councillor Hamill to come forward. Fall off the stage, Tom. Don't fall off.
Good morning. I, Mark William Hamill, having been elected as Councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of office, in accordance with the local government principles and the code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009, to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now ask Councillor Hamill to take up his seat in the chamber. I now invite Councillor Fowler to come forward.
I, Naomi Fowler, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of office, in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009, to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Gates to come forward.
I, Donna Gates, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Curtis to come forward.
I, Shelley Curtis, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Young to come forward.
Good morning, bonjour. I, Peter John Young, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability. Thank you very much.
I now invite Councillor Patterson to come forward.
I, Brooke Ainsley Patterson, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Wilkinson to come forward.
I, Joe Wilkinson, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Lacastra to come forward.
I must be very well behaved in the last term because I'm not Robert, I'm actually Bob, so it's great, I'm back. So, yes. So I, Bob Lacastra, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Tozer to come forward.
I, Glenn Tozer, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and the code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Taylor to come forward.
Good morning. I, Darren Taylor, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for the councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Duran to come forward.
I, Dan Duran, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Marshall to come forward.
Morning. I, Nick Marshall, having been elected as councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009 to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite Councillor Martin to come forward.
I, Josh Martin, having been elected as councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009, to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations, councillor.
I now invite Councillor O'Neill to come forward.
Good morning, everyone. I, Gail O'Neill, having been elected as a councillor of the City of Gold Coast, declare that I will faithfully and impartially fulfil the duties of the office in accordance with the local government principles and code of conduct for councillors under the Local Government Act 2009, to the best of my judgment and ability.
Please join me in congratulating all councillors and the Mayor on their appointments. The Mayor will now make presentations to the outgoing councillors to acknowledge their service to the City. I would like to start by inviting former councillor Cameron Caldwell MP to come forward.
I don't need that.
I would now like to invite outgoing councillor Herman Vorster to come forward.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
I would now like to invite outgoing councillor Pauline Young to come forward. I would now like to invite outgoing councillor Daphne McDonald to come forward. I would now like to invite former Division 7 advisor Margaret Grummett to come forward. Mr Mayor, as is my requirement under the Local Government Act, I recognise a quorum and invite you to take the chair.
Councillor, just before we open the meeting properly, we'll just get rid of the items in front of us so I can see you. And Mr CEO, is there a chance I can turn those lights off?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Oh, thank you. All good? We leave all, Mr CEO, we leave all that, it's okay?
Yeah, that's
All right. Well, Councillor, as the CEO said, we recognise there's a quorum. I thereby open our meeting 8:42 of this Friday, 5th of April 2024. And as per usual, I will start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, grant that we who would seek to serve you may have the wisdom of your Spirit, the guiding of your hand, and the grace to serve together for the prosperity of our city. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Let's be upstanding for our national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Can we get an officer to remove that light?
Yeah.
So it doesn't block you. Thank you. Okay, councillors, item 1, there's no attendance or apologies. We're all here. So we'll move to item 2, mayoral address. And so, good morning, councillors, family and friends, all the supporters, ladies and gentlemen, people of the Gold Coast. Welcome to this inauguration ceremony of the 2024 Council. To our 5 new elected councillors, Councillor Naomi Fowler, Councillor Joe Wilkinson, Councillor Dan Doran, Councillor Nick Marshall, and Councillor Josh Martin, I extend a warm welcome. To our returning councillors, congratulations on your re-election, and I look forward to working alongside you once again. The community has placed a great faith in us, and I have every confidence that we will rise to the occasion. You know, it's someone 20 years ago would tell me that I would run for the mayoralty and secure a fourth term and serve the council and the city, I would have said to him, you must have rocks in your head. Because you look at from the outside the hard work that councillors do, that's behind the scene, the abuse they cop. Sometimes it's not even in our tier of government, but they just need to express their frustration, and the closest person they can do is the councillor, because local government is the closest government to the people. And add to that all the endless reading that we have to do, and research, and the understanding of what the issues in front of us that we'll be voting on. And of course, there's a bit of politicking in there. And as we recently been re-elected, I know that all of you have been at the polling booths and copping abuse, whether it's on the other side of politics or your opposition and all that. It's a very brutal sport. So, I reflect on that and I go, sometimes there are even mistruths, intentionally or intentionally, in the paper or out there, social media. Yeah, a lot of us, it's water off the duck's back because we're focusing on serving the city. But what happens is that when our family gets to read it and start copying it, not directly, but anyone who hurts our loved ones. So in my case, I'm copying it, and the minute I say to Ruth, oh, just don't read the paper today, and you know what they do? They will read it. And being human, of course, and, you know, then you can understand that they get upset from time to time. And that's the part that, the hardest part of it all. And so you go, so why do we do it? And why, in this case, in some of our cases, we keep coming back? You know, let me summarise, otherwise it's going to be a long speech. It's relatively simple. We love our city. We are passionate about our city, and we believe that we can add value and shaping the future of our city. These are the main reasons, and that's why we have a crack at doing that and joining the team and doing it together. It's true that, as I mentioned, the local government is at the forefront of decision making that really immediately affects the life and lifestyle of the people of the Gold Coast. Decisions are made right here in this chamber, where policies are formed, debates are held, outcomes agreed upon. Like the councillors who are joining us today, I stood for elections as I believe that our city potential to become even a better place to live, work, invest, and raise a family. In my case, Ruth and I, we raised 4 children and 3 grandchildren. For evidence sake, I have Francesca, who was in here a minute ago, and our youngest grandchildren. And that really is the essence of recognising that other councillors has families as well. And some of you may start off in here as a councillor with no intention of having a family. You blink in 4 years, you got 2. And then you have to juggle that lifestyle, Mark, and others would have a grandchild, right? Councillor Gates. And the family of councillors, you know, grows. And that's really the journey of this 4-year term. It will go tremendously quick. That's why I can't believe that this is my 4th term. It didn't feel like it when I finished And just mark my words, there's a great journey that we're going to share, but take the time out and pace yourself. And remember, you know, we work for the city, but boy, family comes first. And in that is my passion to, among all tasks ahead, to instill confidence to our small businesses and residents, to attracting more business investment and creating jobs, local jobs. Creating job in a diverse economy, that's what we've been working on. So that whichever career path our children or our grandchildren wish to pursue, they can do it right here on the Gold Coast. They can become world best, whether it's in medical research, sport, film industry, IT, tourism, service, hospitality, serving the people in council, working in admin, and the list goes on. And that is the goal, and I hope it is yours as well, where our children and their children decide to live and bring up their family on the Gold Coast. It means that we get to keep our family together here. That really is the essence, to protect their lifestyle and protect their future. In doing that, our commitment to maintain lower rates must continue. We acknowledge that the cost of living pressure on our residents is high right now, and therefore striving to deliver value for money, to deliver frontline services that we all deserve the best for the price that is good value. Same time, we have to engage in city building initiatives, because it's one thing, you know, a lot of time I go to Melbourne and make a speech, and just to stir them up, and of course they've been stirred up because a lot of them have come up here. I like to use the phrase that there's only two types of Australians. One that lives on the Gold Coast, the other wish they lived here. And that is why we get 10,000, and a lot of them from Victoria. And of course, it did help with Dan Andrews increasing taxes down there. Number one ambassador for us. Anyhow, with that, to protect our lifestyle, Mark, a new planning scheme to balance our growth and lifestyle. I know you'll do great with that. Light rail stage 4 to improve transport efficiency and connectivity across the city. And we can look forward into the east-west connection as well. And the public transport is essential because it serves the people who can't afford the most. It serves people who doesn't want to drive and have mobility issues. They're the sort of things we got to build. Now, one of the biggest infrastructure projects is on our radar, the waste to energy plant and recycling for our city. And that challenge, we've got to set our city well into the future. And we have time is ticking. We've got only about 10 or 12 years left of our tip life at the tip. And we've got to have this plant up and running and ready before that. And in doing that, the challenge is, yes, we'll make sure it's the best available technology, make sure that the build cycle would last till 2060, and that the feasibility, that it can pay for it. I've asked the question, what happens if you did the no option? You got to buy more tip space, the land's are dear, and it means that a quick calculation, it means that our waste levy would more than double for Gold Coasters. And that is what we got to try to work and avoid. And that's one of the projects that'll be sitting in the Water, Waste and Energy Committee continuing to develop the home of the arts. Arts and culture undoubtedly is the heart and soul of our city. We set out to do a master plan. We only got the last stage to complete. We should get that shovel ready and get the state government to join us in the funding of it. Progressing the Green Heart Precinct in the geographic centre of our city, because, you know, the east has got the beach. We should have recreation facility in the Green Heart in the middle of our city. So that's going to be one of the major projects through community and lifestyle. Positioning ourselves as a great event city by bringing more events, because that is a great multiplier for our economy. So, councillors, as you can see, there are so many things that are in front of us. Many thanks to our CEO, the council executives, and staff from the council support team who keep the affairs of this chamber in order. We can't do without you. Last but not least, I want to express my sincere thanks to my wife. Very few times I get to call her in public, Mayoress Ruth Tate, for her steadfast support over 12 years. It is a team effort, as you know, councillors. And I know she'd be excited to continue your charity work through the Mayor's Charity Foundation. So, councillor, as mentioned, got a big agenda in front of us. I invite us all to roll up our sleeve and have a crack for the Australia's greatest lifestyle city. Thank you. So, councillors, we go now to item 3. Just move to 3.1, appointment of Deputy Mayor. And councillors, I move, it's on page 5, I move that Councillor Donna Gates to be appointed Deputy Mayor for the period of 5th of April 2024 to the 4th of April 2025. And 2, that Councillor Mark Hamill be appointed as Deputy Mayor from the 5th of April 2025. Seconder, Councillor Taylor. Councillor, my explanation is there, but in essence, there's being a 4th term mayor, and a lot of us, I'm not preempting anything, but we've got to look to the future as far as the younger leadership in our city. But at the same time, the young leader that I have sought out is going to be so busy with the city plan, learning all the ins and outs of being chair of disaster management. Took me quite a long time to work all that out. And it's a great opportunity that we have Councillor Gates, who's been our Deputy Mayor for 12 years and never stepped a foot wrong. So for the next 12 months, as we transition, it's going to be fantastic that all the knowledge and that as Mark transitions in 12 months' time, it's going to be a smooth transition. And it's great. And that's the decision I'm recommending to you, councillors. Anyone wish to speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Division? Oh, second there was Councillor Taylor. Division's call.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Hamill, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Gates, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Martin, Councillor Castro, Councillor Doran, Councillor Tozer, Councillor Marshall, Councillor O'Neill.
Against?
Councillor Young.
Motion carry, super majority. Councillor Gates.
Mr. Mayor, would you mind if I just say a few words, please?
I invite you to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you and the Gold Coast community for the support that they have shown me over the last 12 years. I want to welcome all the new councillors and congratulate them on their new roles within the city, and just simply say what an honour it has been to serve as the city's Deputy Mayor for the last 12 years. So thank you. I look forward to the year ahead.
Ah, wonderful. So, Councillor, I take you to the next item, 3.2, appointment of acting mayor is the heading. Councillors, I move that the acting mayor policy be amended to provide as follows: that in circumstances where both Mayor Tom Tate and Deputy Mayor Councillor Gates are unable to perform mayoral duties during the period of 5th of April to the 4th of April 2025, the position of acting mayor will be fulfilled by Councillor Mark Hamill. Anyone wish to speak against? Seconder, Councillor Taylor. Anyone wish to speak against the motion? I put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, motion carried, unanimous. Councillors, we move to the next item, schedule of meeting. The motion, just before I go to the motion, let's just have a look here. Yep, go ahead, Councillor Tozer.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. On Wednesday at the workshop that many councillors attended, we discussed the schedule of meetings and there were some changes made, most of which have been reflected in this draft here. But one of the changes that we've made is reverse back, and my question's through you to the CEO, if that's okay. We discussed in that workshop having what is currently the afternoon committee actually at 9 a.m. instead of the afternoon committee, and it's been reversed back, and I'm not sure why that was, or whether, if it's not to you, perhaps one of the other councillors could reflect on that.
Through you, Mr Mayor.
Yep.
I'd suggest that's an oversight, Councillor. So we're happy to amend.
Yeah, so if you're okay to amend that,
Yeah,
Mr Mayor.
absolutely.
In the workshop, we discussed that the cycle of meetings should have governance, and I'm referring to the May meeting, but it'll reflect itself out through the broader calendar, that governance, administration and finance will start at 9 o'clock, and then planning environment will start at 11. Right.
Mr Mayor, can I suggest we just add a section to allow me to make
Right.
amendments?
Yeah, okay. Okay, just pause a second.
Yeah, there was actually a schedule of...
all of those. What we'll do is that we'll add an item that the Chief's Executive Officer to further amend the attachment.
Yes, of course.
And he'll just do it.
So a more generic...
Yeah.
That sounds fine, Mr Mayor. Yeah, it felt like we had some consensus at that workshop, and it occurs that it hasn't been reflected in the schedule of meeting.
Yeah. Authorised to amend minor, okay?
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
And it will reflect what's happened in the meeting.
Of course. And also I might say that we talked at that workshop as well about adding an extra special budget committee, because I think this budget will be important, and we have actually done that, which is great. So Thank you, Mr Mayor.
No, just add it like that. Tim, just add that. It doesn't matter.
I think 2 probably does cover it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Add it in. Okay. Councillors, the motion's on the screen.
Mr Mayor, the motion 4 is redundant with 2.
Yeah, but I agree, but I think it's fine.
You want to take 4 out? Is that what okay, take 4
We've
out.
raised the issue, and 4 is redundant, so the motion can stay as it is.
Okay. So, councillors, I moved the motion. You want to second it, Councillor Tozer?
Can we do a second?
Seconder. Anyone wish to speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Against, carry, unanimous. Councillor, next we'll go to the next item, composition of standing committees, membership and appointments of councillor to external organisation. Councillors, I take you to the attachment 1, page 17. I had a conversation, the proposed chairperson, Councillor Mark Hamill, that we add Councillor Josh Martin onto that committee, right? You consent to that?
Absolutely, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'll just add that in. So the quorum will now be changed to 5. Okay, quorum changed to 5. So, councillors, I move that the register of membership and responsibility of standing committees and the delegation to external be adopted. You don't need that. Just be adopted. You'll just amend the attachment, Nikki. Thanks for that. And item 2, the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to amend the areas of responsibility within the registration of membership of standing committee and delegation to external organisation in order to align to adopted committee structure. Mr. C, I'll just go to you briefly so you can explain to council why I wanted that in.
Yeah. So, councillors, you'll see there's a long list of responsibilities. The city was unable to make a definitive recommendation on what responsibilities should be in until council resolved what committees they want. Now that you've done that, we will go through, we'll look at those responsibilities. I will circulate them all to councillors. There'll be no surprises, and then we'll make those changes. And it just allows us to do the clean-up after you've done your resolution.
For instance, yeah, go on, give it.
So an example is that disaster recovery is currently sitting in planning, and it'll move, but we needed the resolution of council before we could make those changes.
Okay, we'll make it better. Councillors, I move the motion. Second, Councillor Gates. Anyone want to speak against? Put the motion to you. All in favour, show of hands. Divisions call.
Mayor Tate, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Curtis, Councillor Hemmel, Councillor Fowler, Councillor Gates, Councillor Wilkinson, Councillor Patterson, Councillor Martin, Councillor Castro, Councillor Doran, Councillor Tozer, Councillor Marshall, Councillor O'Neill.
Okay. Well, councillors, we've done all the other items. Mr. CEO, is there anything else I've got to do?
No, you can close the meeting.
Against.
Oh, beg your pardon. Against?
Councillor Young.
Motion carry, super majority. Right, Mr. CEO, do I have anything else? Nothing else? Well, councillors, I'm going just before I close the meeting, there's other items here that, I mean, I went straight to do our meeting, but then there's other items such as morning tea. Councillor, don't eat too much, we've got lunch after that. But it's great to mingle and see everyone. But there's other items here that, yeah, if council can stay back for a minute, we'll do a group shot, all this sort of stuff, and then we'll join our friends and family shortly after. Okay? So, councillors, I call this meeting closed.